Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, That Creepy Reading, and if you didn't watch the last video, we got a new intro for you. This is Crappypasta, and today I've got a special guest. Say hello, Tits.
Hello there.
You're a terrible person. I am a stalker, damn it. All right, it's what I do. I stalk people and I hunt you down, especially. Anyway. We got a very special episode today, and if you guys actually haven't watched this video, but I have a very popular video on my channel that still gets comments to this day. It's called The Worst YouTuber in the World, and the worst YouTuber in the world, as you all know, is DSP. He is terrible. He's the absolute worst fucking YouTuber, and it's not because of his videos are the laziest piece of shit that you can ever find. It is just Let's Plays without any editing whatsoever. No, this is DSP, bro. And he is YouTube's very own train wreck. And someone decided to make a creepypasta about him. It's a good friend of mine called SSG or something. He's a Patreon guy. You should totally check out his shit. Link in the description. Tats is gonna narrate this one though because he and Darkside Phil are best friends.
In a very bad way.
All right. So that being said, start reading this shit. Piece of
boy.
Fuck.
That was that. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. So start off with. Do you know about Darkside Phil? Well, I have an interesting story to talk about if you're still listening. You might be thinking about this is going to be one of the most over cliche stories that are supposed to be frightening and scary, but I promise that there is truth in this. I was there. You see, I had the intention of trolling Darkside Phil on Twitch before he closed his account. At the time, because he was bashing Jack and Daxter for stupid reasons, I watched him play through it and it ended up complete disaster. Phil only whined throughout the whole experience and hated the sign of any challenge. The truth is, I was sensitive over this. I admit it. I'm upset when someone makes fun of something that I enjoy. I have those issues. I wanted to find a way to troll this overgrown child. I faked a sick day so I could stay home and relax. It wasn't just to catch Phil's stream, it was because I don't feel like going to school. I was already in a bad mood for various reasons involving friends and felt like I would only get in trouble when the way I was feeling. After playing a bit of Paper Mario, I decided to tune into DSP's Twitch for my chance to tell Phil how much of a scrub he was. I wanted to wait for the right moment because I'm sure I would get banned quickly. I had to find the right opportunity to strike on that chat. The game
it's kind
of
DSP, great to know that DSP doesn't have a Twitch anymore.
Yeah, because he well, no, he didn't. He wasn't actually banned. What happened was some guy came on the forum and told him to tune down his bitrate because his bitrate was too high. In the end, he was like, "Fuck this," and then just left. Even though his fans had paid subscription to his Twitch, he didn't refund any of that money to them.
Well,
so, yeah.
You know, DSP is the worst YouTuber in the world, and by the way, I should mention I am remaking the worst YouTuber in the world video to be more DSP. They include some of his most recent exploits.
Yep, and a friend of mine is also working on a DSP tries the ultimate racism. So that's
ultimate racism. That
ultimate
sounds
racism.
fun.
Every racist moment he's ever said in a game, and he says he
I actually did
making,
a compilation. I did a compilation of all his racist
he
moments.
denies ever being racist. He said he's never been racist in his entire life. So yeah.
He's black.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my god. All right, continue, Tats.
Yes, we'll do. The game that DSP, a Darkside Phil, was playing during my time at his chat was Banjo-Kazooie. I know what you're thinking. What? He touched that game? Sadly, he did. If you try to look for this playthrough, it isn't available anywhere online. Trying to Google it will yield no results. It seems that no matter where I looked, all traces of it ever happening are erased completely. Why? Well, the stream happened a few days after Jack and Daxter was finished. The pre-stream started with a slideshow of horrible fan art. Official artwork from Banjo-Kazooie had Phil's face photoshopped on various characters from the game. It was a complete mess and would make any professional artist puke from how putrid it looked. Finally, Phil arrived and began welcoming everyone to the stream. He told everyone in his chat that he appreciated the support. Phil talked about wishing how he had enough time to
appreciating
talk
support.
to everyone.
Now I know this isn't real.
Hello everyone, Darkside Phil here, and thank you for Banjo-Kazooie.
This is my review of Soap. It's Dove Men Extra Care.
Well, he always does that. He always thanks everyone when he comes on the stream, but yeah. So he talked about wishing he had enough time to talk to everyone and was thinking about having a system where you could talk to Phil if you donated to him. Well, that's what happens now. The time would depend on how much money was spent. It was $1 per minute. Damn. Do you think I'm joking? DSP tried that. After the
Oh my god,
pre-stream,
I gotta find that. I gotta fucking find like photograph.
well, it wasn't $1 a minute. That's not true. But he does actually. If you want to send him a message, this is true, 100% true. If you want to send him a private message and he'll answer it, you have to donate $75 to him. I'm not bullshitting. That's true. If you send him a private message and you want it to be read in one of his Ask the King series, it's $75.
It looks like I got a new Patreon goal.
Yeah, oh, you're gonna one up on it. You put $85 this time.
Yeah, $85, and you can send me a private message. I won't even guarantee that you read it. I'll just enable it.
Okay.
Hashtag one-upped DSP. DSP's next goal: pay me $100 and I'll send you a text response. Oh my god. Alright, continue.
After the pre-stream ended, Phil booted up the game. He didn't even bother watching the game's opening with Banjo-Kazooie playing their respective instruments. That makes sense. Phil started a new file and watched the intro with Gruntilda's scheming to capture Tooty. During this, Phil made a bunch of unpleasant jokes about how ugly Gruntilda's breast probably looked. It was very forced. When Phil got done, well, he did that before because he played the demo of Banjo-Kazooie before, and
before we go on, we kind of need to tell the audience about Phil's. I don't like using this term because I don't fucking, I don't think my definition for sexism is very, very hard to achieve, but Phil has achieved it. Every game he plays, he does nothing but talk about their boobs. It doesn't fucking matter what they are. It's you're a whore and slut or you're prude.
Regardless of age, he played Alice, Madness Returns, or the original Alice, Erica Mickey's Alice. So you know how old Alice is in that game. She's 14.
14 years old.
He would call her like a slut and an emo bitch. And even Cream from Sonic, he was like saying stuff about her as well. And even has
some Photoshop
bestiality
Phil.
As well.
Here's some photoshopped Phil as a Sonic fan. Dare enjoy. That's your cancer for today.
But yeah, he's he's first of all, any female character on screen, he acts really sexual towards her for no reason, even though he has a girlfriend. So it doesn't make any sense why he does it. Really doesn't.
So as far as creepypasta realism go, I'm inclined to believe this one, that he would probably make jokes about that.
Exactly, but in his original one, because he did play the demo Banjo-Kazooie, he did actually, I think he did say that, but he was making all these like really horrible, because they were all anthropomorphic animals, he was making really bad furry jokes, and it was just really distasteful to the fans.
I mean, they were really kinda, I guess, not really. Kazooie.
An anthropomorphic animal.
Yeah, Banjo, of course, but if you look at Kazooie, she pretty much just looks like a bird.
She's a brie girl, but then you look at Bottles, you look at 2D, but that's the reason. That's what I'm just saying. There was no need to do that, but he did. And if you want to see, you could probably find his Banjo-Kazooie one if you look on his channel, but I wouldn't recommend watching it. It would just make you really angry. But yeah, it was only like a demo he played.
I'm not gonna lie, Kazooie is my waifu. She just looks fucking adorable. I don't know why. Something about that face. That face looks adorable. All right, Tats.
Alright, let's move on.
Continue on with this cancer.
Yes. Before we keep getting sidetracked. When Phil got done watching the intro, he got impatient and skipped the entire tutorial of Bottles and Mole. That sounds like Phil. He did this because he claimed that the game was going to play the same as Super Mario 64. I don't think he even played that game. He moved his character around exploring and figuring out what he was supposed to do. The last thing anyone wanted was his singing to the game's music. That's true. Every game he plays, he sings along to the music. He makes his own lyrics, and it's really stupid.
Why does that kind of remind me of him just sitting in a kindergarten classroom, singing along with the ABC button cross-legged?
But singing it really, instead of that...
Like A, B, C, D, like that.
But
like that, I just picture him cross-legged.
That sounds more like...
A for ass, ha!
B
looks
for
like
breasts.
boobs.
C for cunt. Yeah, that's probably what it'd be like. But anyway, when DSP finally figured out where Gruntilda's lair was, that's not that difficult, he entered and made his way to Mumbo's Mountain. When this happened, his phone rang. Phil picked up the phone and talked to the person calling and quickly got into an outburst. This happened in front of the whole chat for about 10 minutes, and when other users asked about the call, Phil completely ignored them. I figured the argument had to be between a friend or family member. Again, this is something that... Wait, is this did he say it was Twitch, wasn't it? Yeah, so I was thinking this was a YouTube video, but he wouldn't have edited it. Okay, so Phil continued collecting the notes, jiggies and mumbo tokens. Like I said earlier, DSP had skipped the tutorial, so the pacing was very slow. When Phil reached Mumbo's hut, he couldn't figure out how to ground pound the tiny hut scattered around the small village. The chat told him there was a jiggy hiding in one of the houses. If you don't know, Phil always uses his own chat to help him. He never tries to figure anything out for himself, but it was somehow worse here. Even though ground pounding was simple, Phil couldn't figure out that he was supposed to learn the ability from Bottles the Mole. He screamed at the game out of anger and laughed at how bad it was. That's like Phil. Eventually, Phil gave up and continued the game without collecting that jiggy. The worst part about this is that he never picked up all the moves he could learn and left the area, which made others frustrated. The next level was Treasure Trove Cove, one of my favourites in that game. Phil didn't know what he was doing and immediately died in the treasure chest. Gruntilda insulted the duo first time. What?
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that
Phil
makes sense.
didn't know what he was doing, and he died instantly because he's a fuck up.
Yeah.
What a little bitch, Phil.
How that would be so funny if that came true if he did play Banjo-Kazooie and actually died on the treasure chest.
Bitch tits Phil.
Gruntilda insulted the duo first time he died, and Phil was placed back at the start. This time DSP played more safely and was able to get further. Everything went well for a bit besides the awful singing attempts and joke. It wasn't until Phil lost his second life that everything went wrong. He had Banjo-Kazooie make a daring jump from the lighthouse, which was at the very top of the whole level. Phil thought he could land the bear and bird into the water, but when he hit the ground, the duo instantly lost all their whole life bar. Phil yelled at the game despite it being his own fault, and was made worse when he realised that the notes he collected were set back down to 0. When he noticed this, he threw the biggest tantrum that I've ever seen a grown man do. It was worse than any of his fits that he had during the clash with the Smelter Demon from Dark Souls 2, and it only got worse. Phil mocked Rare, claiming it was complete bullshit. While he recollected the notes, he kept bitching, saying that this wasn't challenging. At this point, even some of his fans were disgusted and called him out on it. Phil lost all his lives on Clanker's Cavern, which, to be fair, is the first challenging level in the game. Yeah, I'd say that. Clanker's Cavern and Bubble Glue Swamp are pretty difficult. The game over cutscene played. Gruntilda managed to succeed in her plan, and Tootie was turned into an ugly, fat bear. No, I'm pretty sure she turned into a monster. Phil laughed at Tootie's misfortunes, saying it was the best thing to ever happen to her.
That's a piece of shit, Phil. Phil, I'm coming after you for that. Piece of shit.
After a quick stream break, Phil resumed the game and found himself outside of Banjo's house. This was when things started to get strange. When you lost all your lives, you started back at the entrance of Gruntilda's tower. For some reason, Phil was placed back at Sparrow Mountain by Banjo's house. Phil realised that he forgot to explore Banjo's home for the first time through Sparrow Mountain, decided to go inside and see if there was anything of interest that he forgot to pick up. What I saw was something I've never expected. Something that was never shown in my copy of the game. In the middle of Banjo's home was a table in the centre with a giant coffin in the middle. Inside was Tootie in her witch form. She was lifeless, laying there. Banjo stood at the coffin in front of Tootie and began speaking after a few seconds of looking at his sister. It was better to keep everyone from knowing about this. It's a shame we had to do this to her. Gruntilda isn't to blame. Kazooie then spoke after Banjo. She was a sweet lady. We'll find the one responsible for controlling us. After Banjo-Kazooie's dialogue, everyone watched began to panic. They spammed the entire chat, telling Phil to quickly turn the game off. Phil saw this and thought the entire chat was insulting him and started banning everyone that he was started banning everyone that he caught trying to warn him. Okay.
Oh look, now the entire chat is pissed at how I choose to play. Look at the butthurt Banjo-Kazooie fans. You know what? I'll show you the way out.
Phil was taken to the entrance of Banjo's home. The music was now changed to a depressing theme of Sparrow Mountain from Banjo-Tooie, where Gruntilda and her sisters had destroyed the entire area.
Well, looks like I missed the good ending. I didn't know you were looking at the bad ending if you lost all your lives.
God damn it, I'm not starting over again. What awful design. Fuck this. Phil made nasty comments towards Rare. Phil made nasty comments towards
elongate it
Rhea.
a little bit and make him sound like a
this.
retard. What awful design! God damn it! And that's starting all over again. Fuck you, Phil.
So, Phil made nasty comments towards Rhea on his way back to the entrance of Gruntilda's tower. When he got there, an invisible wall prevented re-entry. He spoke about the game being glitched. After a few seconds of trying to get back in, Banjo spoke again. Gruntilda has won. There is no point in going back and upsetting her. Despite this, he constantly tried going back in against Banjo's will until Kazooie peeked out of the backpack and gave a fierce scowl. I've never seen Kazooie act this angry. She was feisty, but she never had angry issues this bad. Phil gave up and turned back, trying to figure out where he was supposed to go. He tried going back into Banjo's house, but there was an invisible wall there too. It's better to let her sleep. Phil tried exploring other parts of Sparrow Mountain to see if anything else had changed. He wandered aimlessly until the stream began buffering. Everyone in the chat had this issue as well. Refreshing the page didn't do any good. Everyone just sat there waiting for Twitch to fix itself. 10 minutes later, what I saw was horrifying. Phil was unconscious. Bloody scratches over him. Leanna was hugging him, crying. The game itself was stuck on the screen that flashed between black and white rapidly. While Leanna was comforting Phil, trying to get him conscious, this bit's just fucking weird. A giant bird goes into view of the web camera. It looked like a realistic Kazooie. The difference was that it wasn't the Kazooie that everyone knew and loved. This Kazooie had a plague mask covering its face and sharp-looking talons that could easily tear someone's heart out. Kazooie immediately lashes at Leanna and gets smacked away by a fire extinguisher in Leanna's hand. Get away from him, you fucking chicken. The stream immediately buffers again after her line and shortly goes offline completely. Phil became absent after this incident for a couple of days, and when he finally returned, he didn't talk about what happened. He refused to acknowledge anything on that night and pretended to never touch Banjo-Kazooie. For once, it was a smart move on his part. Who would believe him? If he hadn't witnessed that attack, I sure wouldn't. From this day on, Phil has never talked about his session with the bear and bird. It's unknown where he got his copy of the game from. People who have asked to buy Phil's copy of the game were banned from his Twitch. The end.
Sounds like Phil.
It does sound like Phil.
People bought him games in the past, and he wouldn't even play them.
The funny thing is about this is one of his recent Patreon goals is he is playing. It's you vote for one of his games. I think you got pledged $12.50. I think was something like that. $12.50 for him.
Wait, $12.50 or
no. I'm talking about $1,250. You pledged.
Like as a group, like that's a milestone.
Yeah. That's a milestone. If you pledge that, he said he'll play either Crash Bandicoot 3, Banjo-Kazooie, or Conquer Bad Fur Day, as in Command and Conquer's Bad Fur Day, because he can't spell it properly. He put Conkers from Command and Conquer's Bad Fur Day. So you couldn't even remember how to write it properly. So yeah, he's either going to play those games only for 7 hours. So that means that he's not going to finish the game. You can't finish Banjo-Kazooie in 7 hours. I've done a speedrun of the game and have beaten it in about 8 to 9 hours, but there's no way you can. And besides, he's never played this game before, so there's no way. And even with a goal,
yeah, I mean, 7 hours is going to be him getting through the tutorial area.
I would say he would get to Treasure Trove, Kobold Collector's Cavern, and then just completely bitch about the game, rage quit, because those levels are pretty difficult if you think about it. So exactly what this person did about the Creepypasta is sort of true. But I reckon he would kind of, the stuff that he's mentioned about Phil, and is kind of true. Like he would sing over
he
music.
Nailed Phil's personality.
Absolutely. The mannerisms, the way he talks to people, the fans and stuff. Yeah, I reckon that is just very true. This is sort of how Phil is.
You know what's a sad thing? This would be an actually really good idea for an original creepypasta. Think about it. What if someone did a creepypasta and they went to a streamer's stream, just a random streamer's stream, and they're playing a game and all of a sudden shit starts happening and you and 12 other people were the only witnesses to it.
It's a good idea, actually, yeah.
Yeah, that would be an actual interesting thing. And if you could do some other things outside of the creepy game trope, that would have been actually a good idea. But as a recanting of DSP's future if he actually hits that goal. This is brilliant. And cancer. Damn it, Phil. Damn you.
If you people don't know who Phil is, and you've never heard of him before, I recommend looking up. Type into YouTube, "This is how you don't play."
He's inspired
people. Now, Phil thinks these videos of "This is how you don't play" are hate videos. They're not actual hate videos. This is actually just people taking segments, compilations of his video gameplays and putting it all into sort of a compilation. Because what Phil does is does not edit any of his videos. He just sticks it. He uses OBS, record, stop, upload. That's all he does. But these people actually take videos and complement into a sort of a watchable version of it. So he thinks that all these videos are hate against him, but no, this is actually him speaking in the game. They don't put anything else on it. It's just literally his speaking. So this is what he says in the video. But he thinks it's hate videos, so he tries to remove all these videos. Because apparently these people are sociopaths, confirmed sociopaths, and detractors. So yeah, even though people are trying to give him criticism. Like. And also, one of the worst things I've seen is I've listened to one of his podcasts before, once, and it was 35 minutes of just dead air before he started talking, because he doesn't edit his videos. That's just inexcusable, especially if you're running a so-called quote-unquote business. You know, it's not.
I'm sorry about my background noise, by the way. My brother decided to start blow-drying his hair. I don't know if you can hear it very well or at all.
No, I can't hear it too. Didn't hear it too.
But yeah, just so you know, a quick update on Darkside Phil's Patreon. He's actually reached his goal of $1,250 per month. So if you do decide to play Banjo and Kazooie, or just decide to say fuck this month and I won't do it because I'm a bitch, yeah, that'll be you. I'm just kind of surprised that he has all those Patreons. You know, I mean, like, think about all of them.
He's a racist.
All the other people who like, you know, all the other people really deserve that. You know. And like Kenshin.
There's a lot of people that deserve more credit than Phil does. I mean,
yeah, and the fact that he's making $1,000 fucking dollars. There are 2 people donating $75 to him, and the funny thing is that it's a one-time thing. It's a one-time. So you know how he said you can like send him a like you can send him a little message and he'll answer it on Ask the King.
Yeah.
It's one time. You only get to. He only will answer once.
No. That's if he answers it. So remember, it's up to him. If he looks at the question and says, I don't like that, I'll put that at the back of the pile, and he never answers it. Because it's happened before. Some people have actually pledged money to him to have their question read, and he won't read it. So that's a really.
I think I would go to Patreon right there. Anyway, time to make my goal, $85, and you can private message me. Yeah. That doesn't mean I'll read it. You have to donate $100 if you want me to read it. Hashtag that creepy scumbag.
And there's a $75 to play with him as well.
Yeah, I don't doubt that he's actually doing that, though. But yeah, Phil is something known as a train wreck, and he's great. He's a great train wreck.
Yeah, and if you wonder why people have asked me why I'm so like, why I'm always like about this DSP person, it's because he is completely oblivious to everything going on around him. Okay, he thinks that where all these fans of his has just left him, he feels that because he moved because he used to live in Connecticut, and he moved to Seattle because he showed his address on camera when he lived in his condo, and he was like, yeah, I don't care, you can come at me, I'm hard, I'll take everyone on. So when he received messages and he received deliveries at his door, he got really scared that people were going to like beat him up, so then he flew all the way, well in depth,
that people
were
going to beat him up?
Yeah, that's true, that's why he moved. No, he lied on camera and said that the reason why he went to Seattle was because the bills were so high in Connecticut. So that's why he moved to Seattle, but the true fact is he got all these delivery messages of people sending him stuff, and he got really scared, and then he flew to Seattle while in debt.
Like, for wouldn't Seattle cost a lot more?
Yeah, exactly. It cost a lot. Yeah, but he bought like a $500,000 house in a privatized community next to fast food restaurants. When there's only 2 people living in that house, it's like a 4-bedroom house. It's like, and Liana has her own office. DSP has his own office, and it's like, why would you spend that much money? And all the Patreon money that he gets is all spent on his own thing. So it will be spent on bills. It will be spent on going out for dinner, staycations, his car, and others. Oh my god! Even the green screen he bought, he did it for one video, like the Batman video, I think, and he just not used it since. But then he scammed his patrons, saying he was going to use Project 7.
That is kind of funny. You know how he's going to restart Project 7? If you donate $30 to Phil, you can get a Project 7 Trio T-shirt.
Who's going to buy that? He's not doing Project 7
Two
anymore.
people are fucking buying Project 7 T-shirts. You know, the project he canceled and hasn't continued since 2012.
But
you know, it's not like that's been dead for 3-4 years.
He burned bridges with Rambo and OJ and Howard. I don't think Project 7 is going to work if it's just him. Or is he going to just record himself sitting on the couch playing a video game?
Whoa! No!
He doesn't have Respect the Pact anymore to do the special effects, so...
Respect the Pact isn't even on YouTube anymore.
Exactly. They're not on YouTube, but like I said, who's going to do the special effects for him?
Tatch, you can do it. You can get Masturbating Bill. He'll be Masturbating Bill will be the cameraman. The Nostalgia Critic will come over and cut his arm, make the special effects. You know, like, oh, we need blood effects, and the critic's like, I got this. Bill starts masturbating to it, and it's like, stop it! Blood and semen all over the place, and then Phil just cancels the goal.
Okay.
This is another 26-minute video. I think that is a great place to stop. Masturbating Bill, thanks for saving another Crappypasta. This has been your host, That Creepy Reading, and this is Tats. You know him from Tats.videos, but if you don't know who he is, you may click the link in the description and check out. He does amazing top 10 no, not top 10 lists. That's for faggots,
just top videos in general, top countdowns. There you go.
Yeah, like it's like up there. You have like 150 something guns in games. That's ridiculous.
Which isn't very, I know, but people didn't particularly like it because it was too big. But on the plus point, we are actually narrowing it down now, so it'd be like shotguns, miniguns, sniper rifles, handguns in games, so that sort of thing. It'd be a lot easier now.
Maybe we should have did that before the giant list.
Well, I didn't think it would be that big, that's why. But now it's narrowed down. Now it's narrowed down, so you got your own category of guns now, so they all stick together like that. We had to experiment just to see.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to do an obligatory end card here. If you want to see the top 10 Let's Not Meet stories, you can click the homeless man on your right, which is actually done by Tats. If you want to go check out Tats' channel, you can see the top 60 creepypastas by simply clicking on Satan on the left here. And if you're terrible, just click off the video. Now,
You're just making stuff up.
I am making stuff up. But you know what I'm not making up? If you found Tats through me, I would like you to comment on Tats' top 60 gaming creepypasta saying, Creepy Reading sent you here. Because that's how terrible I am. Thank you and goodbye.